What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and for today's WWE news video, we got something good brewing today. Now before we get started, if you guys are wondering, if it's like, dark right now, actually it is not. It's actually pretty gloomy outside right now, and if you guys notice my voice change, yeah, I just got the flu shot like last week or something like that, and I'm already starting to feel the side effects of it. So I do apologize, but obviously you guys know that does not stop me from giving you guys the top of the top WWE news for you guys to check out. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about a potential dream match for Drew McIntyre. Who could it be? Who could be his dream opponent? Who knows? You'll have to find out. Pete Dunne signs a long-term contract with WWE. MVP teasing the return of the Hurt Business on Raw. And this first one that I'm going to talk about, which is the update on NXT Superstars Candice LeRae's NXT contract. So if you guys remember on social media, on Instagram actually, you will know that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano had announced their pregnancy. They actually announced it last month in August, saying, and I'm literally gonna read off what Candice posted. Big shout out, no copyrights here. You guys know how this works. But she posted on Instagram, saying quote, just when I didn't think I could possibly be happier, you all proved me wrong. My heart is so full of love and support I never expected. This road for me and Johnny has been long, and I've had days where I thought this would never happen for us. It's hard as a woman to choose between your career you've wanted since childhood and growing a life inside you. There never seems to be a right time. I have been a wrestler for 19 years, and it's been my constant since I was a little girl. It's my first love. It's given me irreplaceable friends, a brother, experiences I have never had otherwise, the blessing of traveling the world, the ability to make an impact on people's lives, and, in parentheses, last but not least, a husband. I don't plan on being away until I absolutely have to. Indy clearly needs me, and I want to be there for my locker room of girls as long as I possibly can. However, I do have to take a step back from my favorite part of this business for a while, physically wrestling. But I know this little one is going to be so very worth it, so very worth every second away from the ring. I'm incredibly thankful for the love and support from everyone. It's helped me feel at peace and whole, and I'm sure this little one growing inside me feels every bit of it too. I'm incredibly lucky. Thank you all. I love you 3000. So basically, she just they announced the pregnancy, and there were rumors of Johnny Gargano's contract being having expired next year in 2022, and Candice LeRae's contract is about the same actually. So it was reported. It was reported a while back. It was reported that because of the pregnancy, because Candice LeRae wants to continue being used on NXT during the pregnancy, her contract has not been frozen. And what that means is, with Becky's contract, if I remember right, the reports stated that WWE had froze her contract for the pregnancy, but with Candice LeRae it's different because she wants to be she wants to continue being used on NXT for as long as she can, and when the time is right, then yes, they will freeze the contract and they'll let her go on and just do her thing until the baby is born. We do know that that the rumors of Johnny Gargano's contract being up in 2022 is complete BS, because we found out that it'll expire on December 3rd of this year. And it's interesting because Candice's last match was actually back in July on NXT, and at that time I think she was in a tag match if I remember right, but she was a part of NXT this past Tuesday as part of the Dexter Lumis Indy Hartwell wedding, which shockingly enough was the first wedding in WWE that actually went well. That's fucking crazy. Because every single wedding that we had seen in WWE has always ended in pure chaos. Literally, pure chaos. And the craziest part is that Dexter Lumis actually spoke. 2 words, I do. 3 letters, 2 words, I do. Yeah. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. Crazy enough, Candice LeRae's contract does expire at some point in 2022. My guess, probably in the summer. I'm not so sure, but honestly, there's no way that they'll leave NXT because if you remember, not a while back, Gargano had admitted that that guys like Shawn Michaels actually inspired Gargano to be in WWE, and for something like that, there's no way that they won't. There's no way that they will leave WWE, because honestly, if they do leave WWE and Tommaso Ciampa does as well, even though he's the new NXT champion, NXT will be dead because for one, you think about NXT, you think of Wade Barrett, you think of Daniel Bryan, who's now a part of AEW. You think of Adam Cole, who's a part of AEW. You think of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Big E, Xavier Woods, Paige, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and so many more. They were the pillars of NXT from back in the day. Now you have, as far as now goes, as far as the OGs, you have Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, you have Tommaso Ciampa, who are the 3, and also Ember Moon and Dakota Kai. They're the now they have become the pillars of NXT, and if one of them were to leave NXT, NXT's dead because they're the ones that have held NXT down for the longest time. So the big question is, what would happen to the future of NXT if someone like Candice LeRae or Johnny Gargano would leave? What would be the future? That is the big question there. But I will say this: big congrats to Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano on the pregnancy. Congrats to them. Big shout out. No copyrights here. You guys know how this works. But that being said, again, as far as the future of NXT without superstars like them, it's hard to say. But only time will tell. But speaking of NXT, Pete Dunne has re-signed with WWE. So as far as we know, excuse me. Pete Dunne has agreed to sign a long-term contract, which from what we know is a 3-year deal, and it's been reported that it was personally offered to him by Triple H before he was sidelined with his heart surgery. Which, if you guys haven't checked out that video, I recommend watching it. It was a very heartbreaking video to do, because that was the first thing that I talked about in that video, which I think that was last week's episode. Actually, since I'm on YouTube on my Fire Stick, this will help me out. Yeah, literally, yeah. That was actually the first thing that I talked about in last week's in last week's video. And from what we know, Dunne was offered a brand new deal back in August, following the surprise expiration in July. And as far as we know, Adam Cole's contract expiration in June had actually caught WWE by surprise. They thought that what is? I swear my laptop needs to stop. It needs to stop being an asshole. Anyway, WWE had thought that Adam Cole had his contract was gonna extend until the end of this year, but unfortunately that was not the case, because we found out that it had expired in June, and he signed a short-term extension, which led into his match with Kyle O'Reilly at TakeOver 36, where it was 2 out of 3 falls match, and it ended in the weirdest way possible. Now he's a part of AEW. He had signed with AEW earlier this month. Rumor has it, I don't read the rumors for AEW or anything like that, but I've heard rumors that Adam Cole signed, I believe, a 3-year deal with AEW, and from what I understand, I don't know if this is true or not. You guys might be able to help me in the comments, but rumor has it that once that contract expires, he's done. He's done with AEW, and he'll be coming back to WWE at some point. I'm not so sure if the rumors are true, but if this is true, odds are Adam Cole is definitely going into the main roster. But as far as we know, as far as we know, there were rumors that Dunne was going to sign with AEW, and that he was hoping to, and that if he did get signed to AEW, he was hoping to get the chance to stand in the ring with Daniel Bryan, or I guess real name Bryan Danielson, at some point. But obviously you guys know he competed this past Tuesday on NXT 2.0. It was a fatal 4-way match between him, Kyle O'Reilly, LA Knight, and Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title that was vacated by Samoa Joe. And I had talked about that this past Tuesday, and I had talked about that this past Monday on WWE's Biggest Issue. So honestly, it's kind of a bittersweet deal for us, as NXT fans, because there are a lot of people who are big fans of Pete Dunne and the type of superstar that he has become, if you will. So the big question now is, what is he going to do with his 3-year deal in NXT? That's the big question, and who knows? Excuse me. Only time will tell. But now is the Hurt Business returning? So, so MVP on Instagram had actually took to Instagram. Hang on, guys, my phone being stupid. My phone is like legitimately being stupid. Anyway, so MVP had took to Instagram literally just a couple days ago, saying quote, discussing business with an old acquaintance, where he literally is sitting next to Shelton Benjamin on the plane. So the big question is, are we really going to see the Hurt Business come back? So with Bobby Lashley have lost the WWE title to Big E via the Money in the Bank briefcase. There were a lot of speculation that there was a lot of speculation that we could see the Hurt Business come back, and there are rumors. There's been reports stating that with Shelton Benjamin joining the Hurt Business again, the big question there would be, how would that play out, given the fact that it was MVP and Bobby Lashley that took Benjamin and Cedric Alexander out of the Hurt Business to begin with? Well, the assumption is that apparently they're going to turn, their WWE plans on turning the Hurt Business baby faces, because of the fact that Shelton is a babyface himself, so to speak. And for most of the and for most fans, it was absolutely crazy to split the Hurt Business to begin with. So what was the point? So the question is, what was the point of splitting up the Hurt Business when they were just gonna get back together in the end? That's the thing. That's the big question that everybody's been asking. It was like, what was the point of splitting the Hurt Business when they were just gonna get back together at the end of it all? So as far as the Hurt Business goes, there were rumors spiraling all over social media during the Thunderdome era, if you will, that once Bobby Lashley became WWE champion, there were rumors that Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin were going to regain the Raw Tag Team titles, and MVP was going to go after the United States title, so they could take all the gold in the men's in the men's division on Raw, and they were going to potentially bring in a female to the Hurt Business, have her win the Raw Women's title, and they would just take over Raw entirely. Unfortunately, that was not the case, because MVP ended up having knee surgery during that time, and both Benjamin and Alexander had lost their titles, I believe to New Day, if my memory serves right. If my memory serves right, I don't remember exactly. I believe it was to New Day, and And now, I mean, as far as like when we could see the Hurt Business back together, possibly as early as Raw this coming Monday, next week. Is it gonna happen? Only time will tell. I really don't know, but only time will tell. We will find out this coming Monday on Raw. But now the question is, who does Drew McIntyre want to face in the future? Well, we found out that this coming fall, from what we know, this coming fall, WWE is going to be going on tour in the UK, and Drew McIntyre took to Twitter and said, "Seeing Imperium just gave me an idea. Hey Walter, I'm back in Europe next week on tour. You know where to find me if you want a scrap." So for those who have no idea what the term scrap means, it's basically it's a British term. It's a UK term meaning that, Drew McIntyre is ready for a fight. And honestly, that would be kind of interesting, because the last time we saw these two in the same ring together, it was back in Survivor Series in 2019, where we saw a chop fest between Drew McIntyre and Walter, which, oh my god. If you guys saw that match, it was nuts. But if you guys have not seen it, it's actually on WWE's YouTube page. Just type in Team Raw versus Team SmackDown versus Team NXT, and it'll be there. Again, no copyrights here. You guys know how this works, but just wanted to give a shout out. But that would be kind of cool though, because if we saw that matchup, it would be insane. It would be an incredible match. Getting to see a chop fest between the two would be incredible. But on the flip side of it, no one knows what Walter's future will be, because when he lost the NXT United Kingdom title to Ilya Dragunov at TakeOver 36, many people were speculating that he was going to leave WWE and go back to the independent European scene, Progress and ICW, WXW, go back and re-hone his craft, if you will, as a performer, which wouldn't be the worst thing, but at the same time it would put a tamper on the Imperium faction alongside Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel, unless those two gentlemen went to Europe with Walter, then maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But among that, if you will, there's been rumors that Walter has plans to permanently stay in the U.S. after his title loss, and that wouldn't be so bad, because he can go, because with him staying in NXT, he can go after Tommaso Ciampa and the NXT title. Take the title off of Ciampa, Samoa Joe comes back, we have an incredible matchup. Samoa Joe versus Walter. Come on. Who would not want to see that? Seriously. And even among all that, Drew McIntyre tweeted during NXT this past week, they were praising where he was praising the rivalry between Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma, joking that, making a joke about LA Knight's chances of winning the NXT title, saying that it had drastically gone down. When LA Knight had went up against Braun Breaker. What is up with this laptop giving me these fucking ads? And no, you're not gonna do that. My laptop is being stupid, guys. I don't know why. This thing is old as shit. When LA Knight, anyway, as I was saying, when LA Knight went up against Braun Breaker, who is actually the son of Rick Steiner, but the nephew of Scott Steiner. If you guys remember the Steiner brothers from the early '90s in WWE, those two were insanely good. They were insanely good. They ended up jumping ship to WCW in the mid '90s, and they sort of went their separate ways. I think Scott Steiner joined up with the NWO. Rick Steiner, I think, joined up with the Wolfpack or something like that. Saying, quote, that there's no one better to usher in the new era of NXT, and saying that there's no one better to usher in the new era of NXT than the NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa. So, honestly, my thoughts on Drew McIntyre versus Walter, sign me up. Sign me up. Let's go. What's up? What's up? I say let's do it. Let us do it. But that brings us to the question of the day. So that brings me to the question of the day. Do you guys want to see the Hurt Business return to Monday Night Raw? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE news videos, which gets posted every Thursday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.